So let me ask you a question. Are you drowning in credit card debt with no extra cash to pay it off?
What if we told you that there is a way to get rid of that debt, right? Without making more money. Sounds crazy, right? I know. No, it sounds crazy, but it's 100% possible. And we're about to show you how.
Now, this method works even if you're living from paycheck to paycheck.
Banks hope you don't find this stuff out, right? But today, we're exposing the secret. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk about travel and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even abroad.
Abroad is a good thing. Early is even better.
All right, sweetheart, what are we talking about
today? We're talking about the debt-free hack banks don't want you to know, and there's no extra income needed.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to give you a real life scenario and show you the method to pay off debt, even if you have no extra money at the end of the month.
Right. So y'all know we asked you guys to send us your information if you wanted to be able for us to create a plan online for you, a financial plan, right? So we asked for your financial information. You filled out a form, and so this is one of those scenarios. All right. But first, you want to stick around to the end because we're going to tell you that there is a way that this can get effed up. Yeah. There is a way that this can fail. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. I'm sorry, I got distracted. My parents' caretaker started calling right in the middle of this, so forgive me. So first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Rick and I live in Lisbon. And back in 2018, ish,
or somewhere back there,
somewhere in there. I keep revising this because we're trying to remember exactly when that meeting happened, right? We couldn't find it on our calendar, but we looked at our money and it looked crazy. But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna say. If we can do it, you can do it too. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Y'all, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers because we believe that this is information that our community knows, especially in these political times, right? Yeah. We cannot waste any time playing around with nonsense. We need to get our financial act together and figure out a plan B in case things go south, because they're going south quickly in the United States. And so we know that about 50% of the folks who watch our videos are not subscribed. So please subscribe so this information can get out to our community. Hit that notification bell twice that will let you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video. All right, let's get right to it. And like it if you find this information helpful.
Definitely.
Right? All right. Most people, you gonna start?
Start.
No, you start. You start. Because, you start. Go ahead.
So the first step is the problem.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's a problem.
Yes.
Most people struggle with credit card debt because of high interest rates. At 29.9%, a $15,000 balance could take years to pay off. And actually, they want you to pay the least amount.
That's right.
Every month, the minimum, so they can keep charging interest, but Obama did come out with a law that they had to post how much interest would cost you if you did the minimum payments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is why voting matters, but they're about to get rid of that. They're trying to get rid of that department that does those things, right? Yeah, that's right.
But this method will help even if you make your minimum payments.
No. No, this method will not help. I'm sorry. He's reading our script wrong, y'all. I'm sorry. So, all right. So wait, no, it could take years to pay off, even if you make minimum payments. See, he's not reading it right. But what if you could stop the cycle and pay off your debt without changing your income or your budget? All right, that's what we are saying. You can pay this off in an incredible amount of time without a side hustle, without adding, a second job or any of that stuff. All right. So step 2, the strategy. Here's how it works. Instead of paying your credit card the usual way, what are they going to do?
You won't flip the script.
That's right. So let's say your total monthly expenses are $6,000. $4,000, let's just say, must be paid with cash. What has to be paid with cash? Credit card bills have to be paid with cash. Rent and mortgage usually have to be paid with cash. Utilities usually have to be paid with cash, right? But there's certain things that you can pay with a credit card, like
groceries,
right?
Gas,
right?
Subscriptions,
Exactly.
entertainment.
Right. All of those things you could charge. So normally you'd pay that $2,000 worth of stuff in cash, right? You'd use your ATM card, you'd take cash out, or just use your debit card. But instead, you're going to do this. All right, here we go. Here's the situation. This is Sonia and Sam Spender. Their income is $6,000. Their expenses are $6,000. Their credit card debt is $15,000. And the average minimum payment is about $650. It can be as high as $685, all right, depending upon when you pay that bill at that point in the month. But that's assuming a $15,000 total. So what you're going to do is
pay $2,000 towards your credit card balance.
Use your credit card for those $2,000 worth of expenses instead, and
repeat it every month.
Since that $2,000 that was going to be spent anyway, you're not adding new debt. You're just shifting how you pay, right?
Yeah.
And that is step 3.
Step 3 is the power of the method.
By doing this, your credit card balance drops by $2,000 every day, or every month. All right. Yeah. Now, this may seem crazy, but we're going to show you how it works. Okay, next slide. So you spend $2,000 on living, right? On groceries, gas, blah, 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 out of your $6,000. Plus, you've got that minimum payment of $650 to $685 that you're paying out of the cash. So instead of $4,000 being the amount of cash that you have to spend, it's actually going to be like whatever 650 minus 4,000 is. So like 3,350. That sounds right, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that, right? So you got that extra 650. So at the beginning of the month, you are going to take that $2,000 that you usually spend on living, and you're going to pay that to the credit card. So now your balance drops from $15,000 down to $13,375. You're also going to pay the interest, $375. You're going to pay that out of the $650 you would have paid as the minimum payment. You still got $325 in cash in your account. That doesn't mean you can spend it.
That's the key.
That doesn't mean you can spend it, right? So you only need to set aside a small portion of your previous minimum payment to cover interest, which gets you a smaller balance. Your interest is going to be a smaller amount as your balance shrinks, right? Because they base the interest off your balance. If you're paying $2,000 chunks, your balance goes down, boom, like that, right? Mm-hmm. And so now that's a lot less interest because, a lot of folks got 29% interest.
And at 29.9 interest rate, here's how fast your debt disappears.
Here we go. So, month 2, you pay another $2,000. You pay the $340 in interest out of that $650 minimum payment that you would have been making, and your credit card balance goes down to $11,000. Month 3, you pay another $2,000. You pay $310 in interest, and your balance goes down to $10,000. Now, at this point, you're looking pretty good. After 3 months, check your credit report. If you start getting those balance transfer, offers,
yes.
do the damn thing. All right. At 0% interest. It's usually for about sometimes 6 months, but usually a year.
Yeah, 12. I had one for a year.
Yeah, I've had one for 18 months. 0% interest for 18 months, right? Come on now. Maybe it doesn't happen to you depending upon what your credit score is. And maybe it doesn't happen to you until you get down to month 5 or 6, but keep checking. All right. Keep checking. And here we go. Month 4, you pay another $2,000. Now you're only paying $265 of interest out of that $650. Now, I hope you're putting that balance of the $650 in a high yield savings account, building your emergency fund. That's what you should be doing. Okay. And if you get to transfer that to a 0% interest, you've got the whole $650 a month to start putting into a high yield savings account for a strong emergency fund. Month 5, you do the same thing. The interest rate goes down to $210, and the credit card debt now is at $6,500. 5 months ago, y'all started out with $15,000 in debt. And after 5 months, it has been cut in half. You haven't gotten a second job. You haven't done a side hustle. You didn't ask Big Mama and them. You didn't crowdfund or do any of that stuff. You dealt with the money that you had. But see, this is the trick. They don't tell you how interest works, right? And how that interest builds up over time. And that's why we can't get ahead. That is the magic of this. And if you can wait 3 or 4 or 5 days before you start using that credit card on that $2,000, you put the $2,000, you pay the $2,000 first of the month, right? If you can wait 3 or 4 days, 5 days before using that credit card again, that's even better. That's even better, because then it really has a time to take into effect in that interest rate, and not the interest rate drops. Oh, that's the other thing. After making these payments for 3, 4, 5 times, right? Call them and ask them to drop your interest rate. All they can say is no.
Yeah. All you can do is ask.
Right? Exactly. So you see, I just skipped ahead 6, 7, 8. By the 9th month, the $15,000 worth of debt is gone, and you have not had to change your living at all. Y'all, if this is amazing, this works, right? If you find this amazing, if you think that other people need to know this, if you know someone who needs to know this, share this video, hit the like so that YouTube shares this with our community. The Melon Felon is in the process of firing all of these folks from the federal government, right? And doing all the nonsense that he is doing. And you know, when America catches a cold, our community catches the flu. We need to be out of debt. We need to be nimble, and we need to be saving money. Send this to a friend. Now, what you've been waiting for. How can this not work? There are ways this can't work, right?
Yeah.
So step 4.
Things to watch out for. It only works if you don't spend beyond your budget. Stick to your usual $2,000 expenses.
Just because you got extra cash sitting in your account, just because that balance is going down doesn't mean, oh, let's go to Nordstrom's, y'all.
It's tempting, but you can't do it.
Don't take on unnecessary debt. Keep your spending habits disciplined. And then lastly,
don't do a check on your credit card interest calculations.
Yeah.
Because some cards may have a daily interest.
That's right.
Plan accordingly.
That's right. And that's why, yeah. And so check that. And that may change when you pay that $2,000. All right. So, but really, on average, you're going to pay that at the first of the month. And then you're going to wait a little while before you use the credit card if you can. If you can't every month, that's fine. But when you can, try to do that. All right. Banks don't want you to know this trick.
They make billions of dollars off of interest.
That's right. That's right. Now that you know the game, are you ready to play to win?
Hit that like button if this blew your mind. Subscribe for more financial hacks and drop a comment.
We want to know if you will try this strategy. We want to know if you know someone who needs to try this strategy. And we also want to know who's coming to Portugal in June for our meetup. We've got so many folks coming and we are so happy. We're going to have a 2-day event. Information is in the description below. Look, if you still have questions, so that's the fun part. But if you still have questions about how to get your money straight, if you still have questions about how to create a financial plan to get out of debt, to move abroad, whatever, we have one-on-one coaching. That information is in the description below. If you want a self-paced program, we have Beyond the Bling. That is our financial independence program for late bloomers, folks who forgot to plan, like us. Everything we figured out to go from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million is in that course. And we keep tweaking it, right? We've got a great community, and that comes with monthly group coaching. So all of that information is in the description below. We see all of our fam in the comments and in the chat. Hey, Action BJ, Teresa, Shell, yes, Patricia, y'all, we love you guys. Ryder Skater, who was the first one here, Monica, Allison, we see all of you guys. We love you. We love you. We love you. This is mind-blowing. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on Sunday. We are going to be talking on Sunday about buying real estate abroad. All right. So if you are one of those people, we talked about diversifying our investments, right? And not just diversifying between stock, not just diversifying between real estate, stock, and bonds and savings. We're talking about diversifying where you own real estate.
Yes.
Okay. Because we are in uncharted territory, and this political climate means that we cannot depend upon the value of our real estate in the United States to remain the same. Hopefully it goes up, but
hopefully, yeah.
Folks are fleeing, and folks are fleeing certain areas, right? And then a lot of people are losing their jobs. So we believe that it is important to diversify your portfolio amongst currencies and real estate amongst countries in this day and age. And so we're looking at other countries. And so we're going to bring on a guest who actually bought a property outside of the United States and renovated it. Actually, bought a building.
Yes, it's just a multi-family unit.
Yeah, multi-family unit. All right. And so that's Sunday, and we'll see you then. We love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.